The Eagles are great with their resume. Then you look at the teams they got beat by outside of Denver. Those other teams are going to be in the top 5. I doubt the Cowboys are going to be in the top 5, but the Giants are going to be in maybe the top 3 in the April draft. What a week. What a week. What an incredible week. You come off a week ago where you beat the Green Bay Packers and you beat the Detroit Lions. Now you get your face stuffed by the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday, and you did get your asses kicked. 24 unanswered points. And now you've got the Bears, the upstart 8-3 Bears on Black Friday. And this is, hey, you know what? I listened to the show this morning, Birds 365, and John McMullen's like, well, the Bears aren't really all that good, even though they did kick the shit out of the Cowboys. They're really not that good. And I'm like, well, John, what makes you think the Eagles are good? What metric are you using that the Eagles are good? You're making it sound like you have a better 8-3 team based on the teams that you beat. I get it. But look at the teams that you've lost to, all underwater, the Giants and the Cowboys. That's the story of the Eagles this year. The Eagles are great with their resume. Then you look at the teams they got beat by outside of Denver. Those other teams are going to be in the top 5. I doubt the Cowboys are going to be in the top 5, but the Giants are going to be in maybe the top 3 in the April draft. Are you crazy? You're making it sound like you're beating great. You're losing to great teams. What are you, college football? Unbelievable. Okay, hey, no question. Look at the polar opposites in weeks here. That's why people say it's a week-to-week league. I love the fact also, hey, a message out to Bob Lang. How about them making Landon Dickerson walk that comment back already? This stuff's like clockwork. A player makes a comment after a game, and he says we weren't prepared. Nick even validates it in his press conference and says, yeah, we should have maybe been more on that with the 5-man front. And then Landon Dickerson goes on WIP and clarifies he didn't mean he was taking any shots at the coaches. Talk about fucking walk back. I mean, there's no way anybody believes anything people say after the game because it's all orchestrated by the PR department and the greatest propaganda department in the history of the league. It's all propaganda. I mean, the guy said it. We weren't prepared. The coach even validated it. Then he walks it back because Herr Bob Lang didn't like the fact that, I mean, the Eagles were taking a shot at the coaches and not having them prepared for the Cowboy 5 front. Got to be kidding me, right? I mean, he basically said it. Super Chats go to the top. Please hit the like button. Howard Eskin today at 4:30. Xander will be in his normal spot at 3:30, and you. Appreciate all of you. Sills, I'm all for Nick Sirianni calling plays again. Let's two birds and kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Finally, hire a play caller. How about this? If Nick Sirianni takes over the play calling, he'll be fired by the end of the year because it will expose him on what a shitty coach he really is. By the way, just for craps and giggles, I got a great text message today from Frank Reich. Fortunately, Dan, they're listening. Okay? Hey, Coach, don't worry about it. Anything we say about you moving forward, Coach, will be anything that you have left on this program and said on this program. Okay? Every single thing Frank has said will always be echoed on this program and nothing more. So they're watching. I got this. Xander, I got to send you the text message. It's crazy. The Eagles watch this show on a daily basis, just so you know. Okay? I mean, Nick, play caller, be the end of him. Because then you can find out what a shitty play calling guy he is. And by the way, not a shitty play caller when it comes to a passing quarterback, a shitty play caller when it comes to an RPO guy. Okay? Hey, I want to before we move on to the topics here. Okay? Before we move on to the topics, I want to ask all Eagle fans this question. How many people remember Micah Parsons destroying an Eagle-Cowboy game? Does anybody remember that? Anybody? If you say yes, I'll go, oh, okay, I didn't know. You tell me. Okay? Does anybody remember Micah Parsons destroying a Cowboy-Eagle game? You know, Jeff Kerr and John said I was stupid for saying that they've gotten better. Okay? Does anybody remember Micah Parsons ever destroying a game? I went back and watched that game. Quinnen Williams destroyed the interior offensive line of the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday. Destroyed. He was a one-man wrecking crew. He destroyed the middle of the line for the Eagles. Crushed it. Completely changed the entire landscape of the Cowboy defense and how they went about stopping the run against Philly. He completely overnight changed that game. Go back and watch it. He dominated, was throwing Jurgens and Dickerson around like they were a bag of shit. Completely destroyed them. He was the best defensive football player on the field on Sunday afternoon. I don't ever remember Micah Parsons ever doing that. Ever doing that. So don't talk to me about Micah Parsons and what he brought to the Cowboy defense. He brought un gatz. You know what that means in Italian? Shit. Un gatz. Quinnen Williams is going to be a handful for the next 5 years, man. That guy's, right now, he's better than Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter's not better than that, dude. There is no way. Jalen Carter didn't even have a good game against the Cowboy O-line. Quinnen Williams destroyed the Eagle O-line. Don't talk to me about Carter being a generational tackle. The guy in Dallas is the best DT in the division. By the way, I'm not a Cowboy fan. I'm a good defensive tackle fan. Guys who played the game well. That guy was a wrecking ball. Holy shit, was he great. Tremendous game he played. Go back and watch the 22. He absolutely annihilated the Eagle O-line. And it wasn't close. And I said this on the postgame show to John. John, that guy could be in the worst team in football, and he's going to make a difference on a team because he's just that guy. He's fucking great. Yeah, and by the way, correct. Jalen Carter got handled in that game. He got handled. That was his worst game of the year. He got handled by the Cowboys. Handled. Go watch it. Hey, by the way, it's not an opinion. That's a fact. A complete fact. Handled. I mean, go back and watch it. All right. One other note I want to make before we get into the topics here. I want to show you how predictable your offensive approach is and how limited your quarterback is. I don't know who they had on today. That young kid who they had on and said that Jalen Hurts is not limited. Well, I'll tell you what. I've been making the case all year. The coaches think he's limited. You may not be limited, but the coaches sure think that. And as long as the coaches have pigeonholed that guy into who they think he is, the approach is never going to change until Nick Sirianni and that staff are no longer in the building. They think Jalen Hurts is that guy, and that's never going to change. They think he's limited. Or they would keep the approach going for 4 quarters. And I'm going to show you how predictable this thing has become and how simplistic and elementary, just like great Coach Sell says. Listen to these numbers. How many games have we played? 1 game? Get this. 1 game. All right. How many games has the Eagles played this year? How many games? What, they played 11 games? They played 11 games. Have they not? 11 ball games, right? It's 11 games that they've played. Am I correct? It's 11. Okay. Here are the numbers for your number 3 wide receiver on your football team. 16 catches for 204 yards. Between Dotson, Mechie, and Darius Cooper. 16 total catches and 214 yards. It's like you're playing with 10 dudes on the field. That's all season long. You may throw some passes to the running back, your tight end, rest of them, Y and Z. This thing is so predictable. It's elementary. Why? Because the quarterback is limited. You've got 16. I heard somebody on Bird saying they want to go 3 wideout sets. Why? The quarterback's got 16 throws to wide receivers other than A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. He doesn't throw them there. I mean, why would you think that they're going to spread the football out? Where in the world would you think they're going to go there? I mean, where? They don't do it. This is fantasy talk. This is complete fantasy talk. When it talks about, let's open the offense up. That's fantasy. You're never going to open the offense up because the guy's limited. Or how about this? Because of the way they coach him. And for the record, you know what? When they did open the offense, he had high turnovers. He had high turnovers in 23, and he had high turnovers a year ago in the first 4 games. I mean, he had like 26 turnovers in 24 games. Not going back to that. They're not going back to that. Limited. Now we're going to get to the topics. I'm going to say this before we get going, too. Hurts is a convenient leader. And he is an opportunistic leader. When things are going great, he's out front. When things are going bad, he's in the rear with the gear. Never takes accountability for anything. You know, never. Never will, never has. I called that a situational leader. You know, it's funny. I never heard Tom Brady do one thing. I've never heard Brady ever in a million years. Never not get out in front. Even Mahomes. Never not get out in front, okay, of a problem and try to be a problem solver. Both Nick and Hurts are a lot alike. They're not problem solvers. They're just not. They're front runners. They're front runners. When things are going great, everything's great. That's why they can't handle issues. And there's no problem solving. Biggest question mark that Xander asked all morning long, and you know what it is? I mean, how do you fix it? They don't know. Because they're not experienced at fixing problems. You know how they fix a problem? They fire a guy. They don't sit there and work the problem. Their idea is because they're going to try and continue to win games from the owner's box. And that's why you've left numerous Super Bowls on the table, is because you're not going to be a dynasty from the owner's box. The coaches are in this with the players. Players win championships. Coaches win championships. Front offices, they're so important at putting the right people in place. But when it gets to a point where you're getting away, now you're a fucking nuisance. Why do you think Jimmy and Jerry couldn't get along? Because Jerry got in the way. You know how Jerry got in the way? Jimmy Johnson was fired. What have they done since? What have the Cowboys done since over the last 31 years? They've won 6 playoff games in 31 years since Jimmy Johnson left. Jerry got in the way. That thing could have been the Patriot dynasty. It should have been. Nope. Got in the way. Egos. Listen, in pro sports, egos are. Look at what the ego did to the Chicago Bulls. It was a battle between Jordan and Jerry Reinsdorf and Jerry Krause. Michael Jordan believed the players on the court won titles. Reinsdorf and Krause believed organizations win championships. Well, after Michael Jordan and Pippen left, what have the Bulls done since? You can have a philosophy on how you build shit. End of the day, Jimmy's and Joe's win the titles. I watched my daughter, and when she was in college, play rugby. They had the right people on the team. They had the right leadership in the right place. And you know what they did? They won in spite of suspect coaching. That's exactly what the Eagles are. Like my daughter's rugby team. They win in spite of suspect coaching. When you take that leadership away, I don't care who you got out there. You got a Barry Sanders out there. You got shitty leadership, you're not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere. It's called sacrifice. Limited head coach, limited quarterback, same page. That's right. That's why the philosophy remains intact. Listen, I'm going to go back and I'm going to say this about Hurts, and I'll go back and I'll put this out there. He has an innate ability to be able to win football games, and he is a winner. There is no doubt about it. But the way they're coaching him, it's like putting somebody in a position that they're not going to succeed in. Good coaching looks at the player and says, what's your skill set? And again, I keep using my kid. Do you know, my wife and I about 4 years ago watched my daughter do something in a game against UCLA. My daughter wasn't the best player on the team, but I'll tell you what she was. She was the most important person on the team. I saw 6 players try to replace her. We're sitting there I'm going like, holy cow. She may not be the best player on the team. They couldn't replace her. That's coaching. That's coaching. Putting people in the right spots. That's what Vic Fangio does on defense. It's night and day on the coaching on one side of the football in Philly. You're not going to have an epic collapse like you did before. You know why? You got too many good coaches on defense. You really got shitty leadership on offense. And by the way, one more thing, Jordan Mailata is a mouthpiece now that he borrowed from Jason Kelce. He's now the official mouthpiece that I guess was passed down from Jason Kelce. What'd you expect him to say? Seals, who's a better dynasty? The 24 Eagles, that's not a dynasty. That's 1 year. Cowboys won 3 Super Bowls in 4 years. Let's get that fact right. Okay? A dynasty is not a 1-win Super Bowl team. Cowboys won 3. You're not even the Chiefs. The Chiefs have been to 3 straight, and they've been to 5 in the last 6 years. I mean, dude, you're not in the room with them teams. You're good, but you're not in the room with them teams. I'd say this. You're the best team in the NFC for sure. Sills, you just brought up Barry. Those Detroit teams didn't win anything, but Barry is a legend. How good is their line at the time, or was it all Sanders? I thought their line was good. They had Lomas Brown, who was just made the finalists for the Hall of Fame, which we're very excited about. Lomas is one of my dear friends, and I'm so happy he made the finalist list for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. That came down today. We'll look at that list a little bit later on. Lomas Brown belongs in Canton. He's been a friend of mine since I was 19 years old. I've known that man over 40 years. Former teammate, played against him in college and in the pros. Just an absolutely spectacular man. And you see, both he and I have a long-time relationship that went back years and years ago when he played with the Gators and I was with the Hurricanes. So, thank you, Riot. They had a bunch of good players. Eric Andelsek, when he got killed, that hurt that team, but they had a bunch of good offensive linemen on that team. They just never had the quarterback or the defense in Detroit. Wasn't quite the Cowboys O-line. And once again, you got to remember something about the Cowboy O-line. That was constructed mostly by Tom Landry. Mark Tuney was brought in by Landry. Crawford Kerr was brought in by Landry. Nate Newton was brought in by Landry. Kevin Gogan was brought in by Landry. Those guys were all Tom Landry guys. Coach brought him in. What was the one thing they didn't have? They didn't have Emmett. Emmett transformed that offensive line. 2 years previous, had won 4 games with Coach Landry's final season. I was there. And then when those guys went on and they brought in Stepnoski, then they started moving pieces around. Nate became a Pro Bowler because you had Emmitt Smith. Darren Woodson belongs in the Hall of Fame. Heck of a football player and a good man, too, by the way. Sills, did you hear Jay Mack tell reporters to shut up during the Vic interview? You're rubbing off on him. Hey. Yeah, well, don't tell that to Bob Lang. Hey, Bob Lang, I'll tell you what, man. He calls up my friend Frank. I'm not going to go there. Forget it. Okay, we're not going down that lane. Jimmy Johnson made exactly 66 transactions to put the team together. I just watched a documentary about him. Absolutely. He created the value chart. He really built that football team really from rounds 2 down. Jimmy made more trades than every team in the NFL combined. He was the first guy who really created trading around players. Okay? Go there, Sills? No. You know why? I have too much respect for Frank Reich. Too much respect for him. Okay? And I have zero respect for Bob Lang, their PR guy. Zero. Guy used to get pissed off at me, I told you guys, because I was friends with Mr. DeBartolo. I'd known Mr. DeBartolo for 35 years. This guy was trying to get in between me and him, and guess what happened? Mr. DeBartolo wanted to fire his ass because he was Carmen Policy's do-boy. Seals, was Purdy not awful, or was pure heat true winner? True heart, pure winner. Hey, listen, that was his first game back in 9 weeks. I don't really think they were sharp, but I got to tell you, Carolina, that's got to be one of the worst 6-5 football teams I've ever seen. Holy cow, are they bad? I don't know how they're 6-5 and still in the race for the NFC South. That just shows you how bad the South is. It is bad. And he didn't mean Eagles dynasty. He meant Eagles dynasty because that's what happened this year. Okay? Bob Lane got agents in the chat. Yeah, right here is one of them. Oh, by the way, well, every year I was at Notre Dame, let me think. 57-7 and 24-0. Let's see. That comes out to 81-7. Boy, those games with Notre Dame and my teams were really close. 81-7? I mean, sure. That's like me playing against Lehigh with my Miami teams. Lehigh would give me a better game than those Notre Dame teams would. And one of those teams was Lou Holtz's teams. We beat them 24-0. We went into South Bend and beat the piss out of them. Somebody asked me after the game, what'd you make of Notre Dame? The famous line, touchdown D just took a knee. They've never been competitive. Notre Dame was terrible. Hey, Notre Dame used to get put on our schedule, we would laugh. Hey, big Jalen Johnson will return versus Philly. I mean, get this. This is what makes you know this guy's a loser. Irish are better than Miami right now. Oh, wait, even though they fucking beat him. Here's a guy here that will go like this. He gives credit for a guy in a fist fight that gets his ass kicked. Isn't that crazy? So Miami beats Notre Dame in a fist fight, and he gave credit to the guy who got beat in a fist fight. Typical guy who's on that side of the aisle. You never, ever want to give anyone credit for kicking the shit out of somebody. You want to make your own stupid narrative. Hey, they beat him. So what? Doesn't matter. Oh, okay. Okay. Seals, do you think your Miami teams would be successful in the NFL? Shit, Jimmy Johnson thought that the team that I played on, the 86 and 87 team, could have beat that Cowboy team that went 1-15. Michael Irvin said it too. I don't know about that. The worst team in the NFL will kick the shit out of the best team in college football. The Saints would beat Alabama, them teams. Okay? Don't kid yourself. When you get to the NFL, it's a different world, dude. These men get paid, and these are the 1,500 greatest players in the world that play in the NFL. They are the 1,500 greatest players. I told you, there's only been 16,000 men that have ever played in the NFL. Over 107 years of this league. Okay? I mean, Kelsey said something critical of Hurts. I wonder how the fans will spin it. They all tell Shady to shut up. He didn't win. Imagine that. Now you're going after people like Shady McCoy. You're going after Hugh Douglas. Hugh Douglas said something too. Can you imagine Dak on this team? Ooh, wait, what? Hugh Douglas, who's on the air at WIP, said yesterday, can you imagine if Dak Prescott was the quarterback with this talent, what that offense would look like? He's taking backlash for that. Don't talk about baby Jesus Hurts. No way. Your little boyfriend, man, anybody throws any shade at him or being critical, you guys start moaning like bitches. Jesus criminy, it's a football player. What are you, related to him? Gives a shit. Dude, fall in like with your players, not in love with anybody. The organization doesn't trust Hurts at quarterback. Throwing less gives us the best chance to win? Absolutely. Think about that. It's an admission by the organization they got the evaluation of him wrong after 22 season. Well, here, wait a minute. Let's see where he is now in attempts. Let's go down the list and see where he is and see if your philosophy is correct. He's got to be, again, let's see if the organization really believes what they're thinking about him when it comes to passing attempts in the NFL. Where's Hurts ranked? Let's see. Jalen Hurts right now is ranked 19th in passing attempts. 19th. What does that tell you? Organization doesn't believe in him. 19th. Here are the guys that are ranked ahead of Hurts. Tagovailoa, Jordan Love, Bryce Young, Geno Smith, Caleb Williams are asked to do more than Hurts. By the way, that's not an opinion. Those are facts. Those are facts. Those are not opinions. Okay? I mean, yeah, Hugh Douglas came out and said, hey, what do you think this offense would do if Dak Prescott were the quarterback? They would have it completely, get this, they would trash all the shit they're doing now. And they would go to a more open offense. That's what they would do. Same thing they did in Indianapolis with Jacoby Brissett versus Andrew Luck. What would make you think they would do anything different? You think they're going to tell a guy like Justin Herbert or Dak Prescott to throw less with the skill set that those guys have? Not likely. They control the quarterback. The quarterback is controlled. He's in a controlled environment. Jalen Hurts' offense is like a formaldehyde jar. It really is. It's like a formaldehyde jar. It's contained. And they keep it in that jar. Come hell or high water. I'm not wrong. Look at how they're coaching him. I mean, look at how they coach him. Get this, guys. This is not an opinion. I'll let you know when I give you an opinion. That ain't an opinion. He's one of the least volume passers in the league because that's by design. The coaches want that. They put him in a formaldehyde jar. They don't think he can win by himself throwing the football. That's Nick Sirianni. Hell, to some extent, that's Jalen Hurts too. Absolutely. And that's Kevin Patullo, the middleman. He's kind of like the bastard son. Between divorces, you don't know who to go to. Does he go to Jalen? He's got to stick with Nick because Nick gave him the job. Sirianni was on WIP this morning. He said nothing but word salad to the most lame questions with no pushback from the host. Listen, they're in a tough spot at WIP. Let me give you a Kim Sileo, producer, not just my wife. Let me give you a producer. Hey, you want to work Monday? You better not ask tough questions to a team that's on your station. Because if that team starts throwing feedback, you're fired. You want to work Monday? Ask lame questions. You're not going to ask any pivoting and riveting questions that makes the guy have to pivot off of some of the shit he says. Those guys got mouths to feed. It's the holidays. They're not getting fired for doing something that I would do this. You know what I would say? Hey, Nick, you ever thought about changing the coordinator because the guy really doesn't seem to be qualified? I would be fired that next day. My wife would go, congratulations, you got fired during the holidays. Because that's what Bob Lang and the Eagles do. I'm just giving you what it is. No shade on the host. They want to work too. They want to work too, dude. You know, they got to feed their families. But if you think you're going to get the truth from those guys, you're fucking high. Oh, by the way, 97.5, you want access to any Eagle players? You better not be stupid on the air or you'll never get access. Remember, this is key fob talk. You know why the coaches and all the media guys never attack coaches and all that stuff? Because if you attack Howie or if you attack the coaches and the philosophy of the coaches, you're not getting back in that building. Plain and simple. And me telling you this alone would have gotten me fired on WIP. Because that means this. Guess what? The onion's been peeled. The onion's been peeled. Do you really want to have sports talk? Or do you really want to have jive talk? That's why you come here. You can disagree with it. That's fine. But you have been polluted for decades. Hey, ever since they got rid of Eskin and Angelo and them dudes and all them guys that used to be on IP, that station's never been the same. It's a mouthpiece station now. Malad is now a mouthpiece, taking over for Kelsey as a mouthpiece. Sills, where's the biggest weakness on the O-line? If it's interior, I'm hearing the draft is deep next year at the position. I think you got really two good tackles, but I think Lane Johnson, Father Time's caught his ass. I think the injuries have caught up with Landon Dickerson. He's no longer a top 15. Hell, I don't think he's a top 10 guard now. The center is one of the worst players at that position in the NFC. And Tyler Steen doesn't have the presence that Becton has. He's played okay. He's not been a liability, but he gets beat all the time. Has he played well? Yeah. He's a C student. Dickerson's playing deep football. Landon's playing C- football. And that's why Quinnen Williams beat the piss out of them. He's an A player. He destroyed them. He single-handedly destroyed them inside. Single-handedly just destroyed them. Dak is a better fucking passer than Jalen Hurts will ever be in his entire career. And because he hasn't won a Super Bowl doesn't mean he's better. Dak's not better than Hurts. Damn. Hurts won a damn Super Bowl. Dak has won nothing. Just because he won the Super Bowl doesn't mean he's better. Since 2022, the Eagles only good as the coordinators. Correct. Because the head coach is not very good. Sounds like state-run radio, Sills. Well, that's why you got George Soros owning it. That's why George Soros owns the network now. Well, then Hurts choked too on Sunday. No? How about them drives after the first three? Did he not choke? Did he choke a 21-point game lead away? Yes or no? Did Jalen Hurts choke away a 21-point lead? Yes or no? Did he not choke a 21-point lead away? Because he couldn't keep the sticks going. Yes or no? Get this. Watch this. Hurts did not choke away a 21-point lead. Oh, Nick did. Nick did. Okay. What's this? I want to show you the love affair. He took a bad sack. I was asking about the other 8 series. Did he choke away a 21-point lead in that game on Sunday? You bet your ass he did. Glazed donuts. Look at them all. Look at all the glazed donuts. Here's a glazed donut right here. Glazed donut. Limited. Very limited. He's a better version of Tyrod Taylor. He's the closest thing to a Wildcat quarterback. 19th for a $51 million a year player, Sills. That's insane. You'd think they would tell Allen, Mahomes, Burrow, Herbert, we're going to make you throw less because it gives us the best chance to win. It's their skill set. Correct. That's exactly right. You imagine going to any one of those other guys? Hey, listen, we want you to throw the ball less. Howie Roseman put the best talented football team around Jalen Hurts. You know why? At times, he looks like a stiff. Well, I agree with you here. They did ask Allen. They have actually. But listen, they have actually had Allen throw less. Correct. Okay? And he's been a better OC. But come on, dude. There's not the same skill set on that Buffalo Bills offense that you have in Philly. Between Brown and Devontae and Barkley, I guess. Hey, you could make the comment that Cook is better than Barkley now. Why not? No, because he had fucking Rager, Quez Watkins, and Greg Ward. Dude, Donovan McNabb had nobody but T.O. for 1 year. If you think Nick Sirianni's smart enough to call plays, then I would check your own IQ because you're a dumb fuck. Who in the world would ever think that that guy is a good fucking play caller is insane. Oh, by the way, to this guy's point, if you replace Kevin Patullo, who are you replacing him with, Nick? He stinks. He's proven that. You're going to replace him with Kevin Patullo with Nick? Fuck, leave Kevin Patullo in there. With Nick? How many years are we stuck with Hurts before we start looking for his replacement? What cap hit are we looking at? What kind of cap hit are we looking at? Pretty significant for 2 more years. Peak levels of delusion today. They think the answer to fix Jalen is firing a coach and getting rid of AJ. He will surely be better then. Hey, get this too. Did you see the new thing coming out? Who said? I posted it on my X account. Who said that? Get this. It might be time to trade AJ Brown. Who came out and said that in Philly? They're starting it. They're already starting it. Here it is. Donovan McNabb says this year may need to be AJ's last in Philly. To make Jalen Hurts better, it'd be the same equivalent of getting rid of Tyreek Hill in Kansas City. McNabb is under the notion that Hurts has the same skill set as Mahomes. That guy's fucking delusional. He's delusional. It's the mentality of how they approach the game. It's nothing to do with AJ. Man, just like Judas, you all will betray him. All of you are going to betray AJ. You may think right now you're not, but you're going to. It's your nature. Since Hurts is limited, wouldn't that mean we need the opposite of a predictable and remedial playbook? Yeah, you keep saying Hurts is why the playbook is trash. The playbook is trash because Sirianni's a moron. Correct. I never told you they're coaching him right. I told you they're coaching him like shit. That Hurts sucks. Doug drafted Jalen and Doug ran an RPO-style offense. Nick's offense is built for the likes of Rivers. But the reality is Nick's O is Frank's offense, who has also an actual play caller. Correct. Kevin, keep for now. Just go find a good offensive coordinator consultant like Frank. Xander, I missed one too, if I'm not mistaken. I think we had a guy in here for I think I missed one. It was a membership one, if I'm not mistaken. Okay? Maybe Dan will tell us before the end of the show. I'm not sure what you're talking about, but put it out there again. Okay? Hit the like button. Super chats go to the top. Thank you, guys. Hey, listen, I didn't tell you they're coaching him right. The way they're coaching him now, he stinks. They haven't had a decent coach for him in 3 years. I mean, right? 3 years they haven't had a coach for him. 3 years. Cowboys will take A.J. Brown. Why would you want A.J. Brown? Oh, you replace CD. Hey, you know what you guys got to do in Dallas? You got to replace, I think what's happened to CD Lamb, I think that, something's happened to his hands. And I don't know, they've turned into brick. Because he's brick hands. Any big game I watch CD Lamb, that guy's part of the 88 club. Holy cow. You need to get rid of that. That guy's not good in big games. He's just not good. Sills, how can you say they're not coaching him right, but on the other hand, he's limited? Look at this guy here. He can't figure that out. How can you say he's limited? Get a coach that understands his limitations, put an offense around him that best fits his skill set? You can't understand that. You can't understand. Does everyone else understand this idiot? How can you say they're not coaching him right? Then on the other hand, you say he's limited. Hey, Forrest, over here. You're coaching him wrong because you're coaching him like he's Phillip Rivers. He's not. Coach him like he's Jalen Hurts. You okay? Would your mom drop you on your head when you were a kid? You all right? Talk about ignorant and dumb. Maybe you need to snap out of it, guy. That's the essential part of my conversation about him. He's limited. Coach him away from those limitations. Coach, he has strengths. Nobody said he didn't. Obviously, he's won. They're not coaching him that. Is it that fucked up where you can't see that on Sundays? Hey, by the way, I'm sick and tired of bringing this point up that I brought up first in this market. Why do you think they start the game out great? Because the fucking plays are scripted. When they have to have an in-game feel for it, they're not qualified. Hey, I'll tell you what. Vic doesn't need scripted defensive plays to run at offenses. Why? Because he has the innate ability to have a feel for the game. And he doesn't go off analytics. If there's one thing that those coaches do, they listen to the analytics department. Vic doesn't. And you can see the difference in styles. One is heavily analytics. The other is not. Plain and simple. Vic coaches with a feel for the game. Nick and KP coach by the numbers and the percentages. That's why you don't have a feel for the game. That's why that play calling wobbles. They're not qualified. You can feel, how about this? You can feel it. One side, man, Vic brings pressure at the perfect time. I guarantee you, that's not off of a chart. That's not off of a first 14-play script. That's why both sides look so different. By the way they're running the offense, you're now starting to affect the defense. Only a matter of time before massive injuries start to happen on the defensive side. You're seeing it now. If you keep going the way, remember I said this, if this offense keeps going the way it is, by the end of the year, going into the playoffs, you would have destroyed your defense. You're seeing it now. This is a precursor of things to come. Remember I said that. This is a precursor of things to come. If that offense doesn't start getting some stability, you can't keep putting those guys out with sudden change and think you're not going to get people injured. And what the league has done now, you put them on a short work week, coming off a tough divisional game against a rival. And now you got them going against an upstart Chicago Bears team. Listen, Bears aren't ready, but I'll tell you what, they may be. The Bears don't know how good they are yet. They don't. Are you better? Of course you are. Are you more experienced? Of course you are. All the things are on your side. Everything's on your side. Still got to play 60 minutes of football. Go play football. You guys thought the Cowboys were going to lay down after you put 21 on them. What happened? They fought back. Cowboys showed up. You were shocked. Imagine that. The Cowboys showed up. Dak jumping into the end zone the way he did. I've never seen Prescott do that. He wanted that game. Prescott wanted that game. Did Hurts? Our issues will not go away until we hire a coach who can actually call plays in terms of continuity and year-over-year production from our offense. Yeah, because you know why? Nick is he's at the mercy of what the coordinator does. Okay? No. Because I don't think the Cowboys are that good a team. Who said the Cowboys are good? Who's saying that? I think the Cowboys are getting better. I'll tell you what. Jerry Jones has made the football team better, whether you like it or not. Quinnen Williams. And, hey, by the way, after the initial media took a shit on Jerry, how do you look at that Pickens and Quinnen Williams deal now? How do you guys look at that deal that the Cowboys made? What do you think? Media took a shit on Jerry, right? How do you guys look at the Cowboys and what the owner did by getting Pickens and Quinnen Williams? So they got rid of Parsons for Quinnen Williams and basically George Pickens. How's that working out? They got 2 for 1. I don't know. Looks pretty damn impressive to me. And they got Kenny Clark. Do you think they will keep Kevin for next year so Hurts isn't having a relearn another OC? Yeah, because they're going to dump it on AJ. The reason why the football player causes distractions in the locker room, and he's going to be your scapegoat. Absolutely. I mean, Kenny Clark, basically, with getting rid of Parsons and the money they moved, they got Kenny Clark, George Pickens, and Quinnen Williams. They got 3 for 1. They got 3 for 1. I don't know. How does that not make your fucking team better? By adding 3 quality players and 1 dominant player versus having 1 guy who made no impact on your football team. Do you know that John McMullen and that guy Jeff Kerr were telling Xander that didn't make sense? So you got Kenny Clark, George Pickens, and Quinnen Williams. In my book, those guys beat you Sunday. And that's right. And a first rounder. The way some people look at the game and want to be right. So let's do that again. You got a first rounder for the April draft coming up, right? You got Kenny Clark, you got Quinnen Williams, and you got George Pickens this offseason because you dumped the guy and you didn't want to pay one dude all that money. I don't, and he got a first round pick. That's bad? That's not getting better? Under what metric? Howie would make that deal. I mean, fucking. Oh no, I got 3 really, really good and 1 dominant. By the way, Quentin Williams and Pickens are dominant players. Those 2 guys may make fucking the all-pro team. I mean, people just pay attention to big name Sills. They don't pay attention to the quality of the players and the picks. And plus the volume of how it makes your team better. Jerry got the football team better, man. At the end of the day, he was right. Sills glazing the Cowboys on Tuesday. Why? They just beat the fuck out of you. Why not? I'd like to see if Patullo is actually smarter than he's forced to be by Nick. Maybe see if Scott Loeffler can do a better job in continuity since he was at least a college head coach and a play caller too before when he was at Michigan. Okay? Because the league contradicts itself every fucking week. 2 weeks ago, you're calling Hurts because of his perfect game. Back. Now he's not. When will you learn, guy? Your constant not understanding of the game is also outrageous. I mean, seriously. I don't know how you watch a game. You must watch it with a Madden stick in your hand or something else in your hand. I don't know. Blow up doll or a Madden stick? I don't know. Probably both. Pickens, that's going to be a tough putt. But remember, they can franchise tag him twice. Because they have his rights, they can franchise him. That's probably the lane they'll go down until they can figure out whether or not CD's really the guy and move off of him. I'm not moving off of Pickens. I'd franchise tag his ass twice. It's honestly the best transaction in the last 5 years at least, Sills. I also somehow find it hard to believe that Jerry did that on his own. Someone helped. Yeah, Steven's been doing a lot of that with him. Okay? We lose into the Bears Friday. I see Nick on that BS at the press conference. Pickens is a free agent at the end of the year? Okay. He's a free agent. I thought there was another year on there, so you may have it right. I'll have to double check. Sills, what does Michael Irvin think of CeeDee Lamb? Not happy with what his catches that he had on, or lack thereof, on Sunday. We stomping out the Bears. You haven't stomped anybody out this year except the New York fucking Giants. Who are you kidding? 30. He's going to, yeah, no, you're right, Martin. He'll want about 35, 33, somewhere in there. Sills, I call it the Hurts cult. Oh, it is. Everybody's else at fault but the count. Well, guess what? Most of them follow in line with the quarterback's personality. When shit hits the fan, he goes to the rear of the bus. When shit's going good, he's at the front driving the bus. That's who Jalen Hurts is. He's a situational leader. He doesn't lead when shit's going bad. He's not the biggest voice in the room. It's A.J. Brown. How many times did I bring that up with Xander Krause? Why is it always A.J. talking? Where the fuck's the quarterback? How come the quarterback doesn't ever step out in front? Not him. Let someone else get hit by a train. I'm making $51 million. Why should I do it? I'm a company guy. I sit at the corporate table with the rest of the big wigs, with Jeffrey Lurie, hang out with Jordan. Why would I hang out and do that? Why would I hurt my reputation with the organization? They love me. Hey, I do what they want to do. They put me in a formaldehyde jar. I make my money. Let AJ get run over by a bus. Why would I want to stick up for him? Why would I want to stick up for a fucking coach? I don't have to. I'm in my own world. I got my own cubicle at NovaCare. Not anybody can come near it. That's who Hurts is. That's my impression of him. And when the cameras are on, he's on. When the cameras are off, he's off. All that shit's bullshit. It's Tiger Woodish in a way. Hey, when everybody's watching me, I'm over here. Yeah, but when they need you the most, when shit's running off the rails, you're nowhere to be seen. Where was he when 23, when fucking shit was going sideways? Where was his leadership then? Nowhere. Zero. Come on, man. You know bullshit artists when you see it, don't you? Fangio versus Johnson and Dennis Allen versus KP favors Chicago. I don't know about Fangio Johnson. I'm going to take, hey, there'll be very few games that I'm going to go into where Fangio is going to be not the favorite in that. I think Fangio and Joe Brady will be a good one in a couple weeks when they play the Bills up at Orchard Park. That'll be pretty good. Plus Allen. I want to see that. Okay, but no. Allen versus KP, I'll take Dennis Allen. Dennis Allen gave Tom Brady trouble. Think of this. I mean, Tom Brady didn't have very good games against the Saints when he was in Tampa Bay. Or for that matter, any Dennis Allen defense. Dennis Allen is a good defensive coach. Okay? He's a really good defensive coach. And he understands. He gets defenses. He understands how to put pressure. He's a good defensive guy. Go back and look at the record. Tom Brady didn't have a winning record versus Dennis Allen's defenses when Sean Payton was the coach of the football team. He did not. They always struggled against the Saints. Those are facts. Go look at the record. He's a damn good coordinator. Okay? We winning out. Not likely. So get this guy. You're winning out, and you're going to play this week in your secondary. Sidney Brown and Keely Ringo. Good luck. Thank God it's Caleb Williams. Sills, doesn't Hurts' leadership mentality as a front runner remind you of a certain quarterback that played in Green Bay under McCarthy? Yeah. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers? Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I don't think the Cowboy fans know that they're still not winning. The Cowboys aren't winning the East. The Cowboys need to worry about Kansas City this week. Worry about Kansas City. Get above 500. I can't remember the last time the Cowboys were above 500. It's got to be years. When's the last time you were above 5? Hey, can somebody do me a favor? When's the last time the Cowboys were above 500 in November? Was it 3 years ago? Right? I mean, 3 years ago, right? Hang in there, guy. You haven't been above 500. It's got to be going on 3 years. Somebody look that up for me. When the last time the Dallas Cowboys, 2023? I mean, where are we going here? Worry about the game this week on Thanksgiving against the Kansas City Chiefs. And get yourself above 500 first. Seals, whoever Hurts' coordinator is next year, it's got to be from Buffalo or the Colts. It fits Hurts' skill set. Absolutely true, Kyle. I'll take that. As of right now, I have reason to believe we're losing this week to Chicago. I thought weeks ago this feels eerily similar to 23. The offense is melting down. Okay? Your offense is melting down. Your defense is starting to take on friendly fire now. It's happening in front of your eyes. It's not that hard to see. You're breaking down because you're not deep. You have no depth at key positions. Safety, corner, edge. Remember I told you. Remember I said this to you too? When I saw Jalen Phillips show up on that injured list, I knew that you were in for a rough game on Sunday. And it was. He doesn't play well when he's necked up. Told you this. I repeated it. When healthy. How many people heard me say that? When healthy. He's a dynamic player. When he's not healthy, he's not. Okay? He's not. Okay?